What's up, everybody? My name is Jack Pitman, and I'm here today to talk to you about the differences between Skillshare and Udemy. And full-on warning, I earn money from both of these platforms, so I'm biased towards both of them, okay? That being said, I prefer Skillshare, and this whole video is going to be about the differences between Udemy and Skillshare from both a student and an instructor perspective to show you guys why it is that I perceive that Skillshare is the better platform. Okay, so before I can get too much into the differences about the platforms themselves, I need to explain what my history is on both of these platforms. Because if you understand where I'm coming from and you understand my perspective, this will allow you to develop a more accurate sense of why I feel the way I do about these platforms. Okay, I'm not trying to convince you that this is just better or Udemy is worse or whatever. I'm just sharing you what my experiences have been and how I feel now and what I'm doing, okay? So, I started my first course on Udemy, and honestly, the first course went super well. It is the single course. 99% of this revenue is from one course, despite the fact that I have 4 on Udemy, okay? And the only reason that it went super well in the beginning is because I was doing something different on YouTube, and I was doing this for like 6 to 8 months prior to making the course. And I was talking about making a course. Not all the time, not super professionally, but I did talk regularly about it to the point where when I released the course, it got like 200 students within the first couple days. So there was a build up, okay? And that's really important to understand because Udemy only works if you understand marketing or you happen to have a YouTube channel like I did, because I definitely don't understand marketing. I'm working on it, and that's where Skillshare is coming in here, but I really don't have a good grasp on marketing. And I was able to have a good experience on Udemy my first time because I was running a YouTube channel about the specific subject, which was dropshipping, okay? So I made the course, and then the course did like $500 in the first month, and that was because I effed up. So in the beginning, the way Udemy works, if a Udemy sale happens of your course and it's organic, meaning that someone on Udemy purchased your course and they came from Udemy, they were just browsing and finding it, then typically you'll get 50% of that sale, right? However, if you have a coupon code, and forget the word coupon, it's not that. It's an affiliate link for your own course, okay? You have a course, and you have a link to that course, and your link has a little bit of information at the end that shows Udemy that you brought the traffic to that, not them. Well, then Udemy is going to give you 97% of this course sale, right? So that's quite relevant because the difference between 97% and 50% is almost the difference between one sale of a course and 2. It's quite different, right? So I did about like $500 or $600 my first month. And I could have actually done about $2,000 my first month because I brought in all of the traffic. The problem is that I didn't know about coupon codes. So despite the fact that all of my YouTube channel people were signing up for this course, I didn't take credit for it. So Udemy got all the credit as it being organic traffic, right? And that is my own neglect of not understanding how Udemy works, right? And I'm explaining this to you guys because I want you to understand that this is not the typical experience on Udemy, and that's what I'm going to be getting more into with Skillshare. So that course was published about 16 or 17 months ago, and at the time it earned like 500, and ever since then it's earned between like $700 and $1,600, except last month because eBay, which the course is about, made a change to their agreement directly stating that they don't like retail arbitrage, which is the main source that the course uses. So there's still a lot of useful information in it, but the main source that it was using was Walmart's and Amazon and that kind of thing. So this obviously affected the interest people had in the course a lot. And so I then had a month that is as bad as my very first month So this is the worst month ever, which makes sense, because of a change that eBay made. And this is normal. Whenever you have courses that are performing well, you can't expect them to continuously just make more money. Like, it's nice to think that that's how life's going to work, but just because that's happened for a couple months or a year in a row, that doesn't mean that it's going to keep happening. This is life. Shit happens. Things change. You have to keep adapting and moving forward and figure out how to have stability, right? And I'm explaining this because I want you guys to understand that this Udemy course did really well. This one course, and say I took 20 hours to make it, and say that I've put like 50 or 60 hours into it ever since then, that's still not that much time to earn $17,000. That's probably monetarily the most successful thing in my life that I've ever done. And off of that little time spent, right? But this isn't a typical experience on Udemy. And so now we need to take a step back and address Skillshare, so I can explain to you what the situation is with Skillshare, okay? But before we do that, I need to explain to you what the situation is with my life, because I was so inspired by what happened with this course that I changed everything in my life. I changed the country that I lived in, I changed the people that I was around, and I changed every part of my environment so that I could be in a position where this is what I do. I just create courses and teach people to learn stuff that I learned off the internet so they can learn from me faster than I learned the stuff that I was teaching, right? So that's my goal, right? And I did that in 2019, January 1st. I moved to Nicaragua with an amazing group of people, really supportive, who know me personally, who I lived with in the past. This isn't the first time I've been to Nicaragua. I lived here for 9 months, went back to the States for 9 months. It was pretty miserable, and then moved back to here. Okay, and I say miserable. Really, my life was awesome, but I wasn't as happy as I was here, where I'm so incredibly supported. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand I have positioned my life to become an online teacher and teach on platforms like Skillshare and Udemy. And when I started making these decisions, and when I made the decision to move here, and for the beginning of living here, I perceived that I was going to be creating Udemy courses because of the success that I'd had with my dropshipping Udemy course. However, I had also made other courses. So for a moment, let's go over these courses. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 different courses on Udemy. And as you can see, at the moment, 3 of them have earned 0 and 1 has earned $82, and it is day 5 of 30. So you can kind of get a sense of how the course is doing. This is an average, though. It's not always super accurate, but it kind of works by taking the number 30. Or actually, there's 30 days in a month, right? We earned $82. It's day 5, so we take 82, we divide it by 5, and then we multiply this by 30. So at this current rate, the course is earning $492 a month, okay? And this includes purchases and things that have been refunded. That's just average, okay? And notice how there's no sales in any of these courses. That is because 2 of these courses are free courses. You can see that right here, live and free. And then if you scroll, look at this How to Fight Fatigue one, that's also free. This has always been free, but the fatigue course I actually had free for a while and then converted it to paid and then felt bad about that, so I converted it back to free. So this is going to get into something on Udemy. What matters on Udemy is the engagement. It seriously matters what your average course engagement is for that subject. So if you look at the category that this course is in, it knows an average. People spend like 30 minutes on average in courses of this category. Whereas in another category, it might be an hour, right? Your course will be pushed by Udemy if this number exceeds what the average is. If the average for that category is 30 minutes and your course is 2 hours, Udemy is going to push that course, okay? And that is what happened with my dropshipping course. The average for this was like 31% or 45 minutes or something like that. And when the course first came out, the average engagement for the course was triple that, almost 2 hours. And that is why this course did well, because I brought that traffic in, okay? It's also important to understand that on Udemy, you have to decide as an instructor what you're going to price your courses at. And this can be really confusing for people because you come in and you create a course and you have to pick a number between free and $199.99. However, it's a little bit confusing because even if you pick the top one, like these two courses, right? Both of these are $194.99. They will never, ever, ever sell for that full price. Almost never. We're talking about less than 1% of the time. If you have like 10,000 sales of a course, is it going to sell for full price if you've opted into Udemy marketing? Okay, and that's a whole nother thing about Udemy. You have to decide whether you're going to let Udemy market your course, aka show it in their search results and do other things, or if you are going to take exclusive responsibility for that and basically just use Udemy as a platform to host your course and to have all of your traffic come through your individual specific links, getting you that 97%. Okay, and that's something I needed to cover because on Udemy, you need to make this decision whether you want to let Udemy do marketing for you, and that means that any organic sale you get 50% of, where any organic sale by Udemy, they get 97%. Or sorry, that if you brought it, you would get 97%. Quite a big difference, right? So a lot of instructors, if they already have an audience, they're just going to do this. They're just going to not opt into marketing, know that they're not going to grow on Udemy separately from their own growth they bring to Udemy. Okay, I didn't do that. I opted into marketing because I want to grow a community on Udemy and on YouTube and develop all of this, right? I want to become more well-known on as many different platforms as possible. So that's why I opted into Udemy marketing. But a thing that I want you guys to understand, because I was rambling on a little bit there and I got distracted by the layout being different, and I apologize about that. Because what I was trying to show you is that the analytics on Udemy between free and paid courses are incredibly different. And as a Udemy instructor, I know, and I went to a Udemy meetup and talked to Udemy employees, so I verified a lot of the things that I'm going to share with you right now. And one of those things is that they focus a lot on engagement, right? However, free courses have horrible, horrible, horrible engagement. And this is a little bit misleading because if we go into my email and we look at the Daily Instructor Digest, right? Daily Instructor Digest, okay? We got this. And so now we have a report every day of how all the courses on Udemy have been doing, right? So let's just open these different tabs here. We're just going to open a couple so you guys get a sense over a week of how many free signups a course will get, okay? And these aren't great courses. Like, I think the YouTube course is really solid. It's good. It could need some progress, but I think the Skillshare course that I've made now is kind of the progressed version of that. But that's another thing we're going to get into later. Let's just look at these numbers. Okay, so on this day, the YouTube free course gained 9 students, the fatigue course gained 8, and the paid dropshipping course gained 6. On this day, the YouTube course gained 12, the fatigue course gained 13, and the dropshipping course gained 10. On this day, the YouTube course gained 17, the fatigue course gained 9, the dropshipping course gained 2. On this day, the YouTube course gained 17, dropshipping course 9, eBay course 2. 13, 8, 4. 11, 10, 6. 11, 10, 6. I think these are the same, actually. Yeah, they're the same one. So what I'm showing you here is that, okay, with my courses, so far what I've learned is that free courses will get between 5 and like 10, 12, 15 signups per day. That is almost guaranteed. And actually, in the very first day of your course, in the first couple weeks, you may even get hundreds of free signups in the very beginning. And this is often quite exciting because you think that actually means that these people are going to be engaging with your course. However, unfortunately, with free courses, 90-something% of the people who get your course are not going to even look at the first lecture because the course is free. They don't have to give anything up. They don't have to have any interest in you at all. They don't have to care about your course at all to sign up for it. So therefore, your engagement is going to be super, super low. And this is a problem because engagement is how Udemy determines if they're gonna push your course or not. Engagement is how Udemy determines if you're gonna grow. And this is the same with Skillshare. Both of these platforms value engagement with your course above basically all else. If you show to them that you create something where some people are establishing social proof and engaging with your course, you are going to do super well on either platform. It's getting the platform to perceive that engagement that is the trick of doing well, right? And there's differences into how Udemy handles engagement and how Skillshare handles engagement. And there's a lot of differences. And I'm trying to make this as informative as possible. Just dump everything that I know about these two platforms onto you guys in this one video so that we can cover all this, okay? And so now we can get on to this, right? Because I've talked about, okay, Udemy really values engagement. However, when you start, you don't really know what you're supposed to do. Maybe you've taken a course on Udemy, maybe you've Googled it, maybe you don't know anything. It's not like there's some Udemy employee who's like, hey, okay, follow me. You're just going to do this, then you're going to do this, and then this, okay? There are kind of forums you can join and that kind of thing, and these kind of things. But it's not super clear cut, right? And so when I went to this meetup, I met 30 other Udemy instructors who either were interested enough in Udemy to go travel to Toronto or lived in Toronto, or were instructors who were already well established and there to learn or there to speak, right? So there were 3 were very well established instructors and about like 30 signed up, but I think there were like 22 other instructors, something like that, right? And what was interesting about this event is I was one of the few people who was actually fully, that was most of my income. Granted, I'm like 20-some, I'm 25 now. At this time, I was 24. I didn't really have much going on, and I was earning like $800 a month. So that's not enough to live in a lot of places, right? But it was like my job. That is what I did. Whereas a lot of other people had day jobs and that kind of thing. But I'm getting sidetracked again. I was explaining to you that free courses analytics get screwed. Whereas paid courses, their analytics tend to do quite well. What you're going to find on Udemy is that free courses get buttloads of signups, but almost none of the students who sign up even look at your first lecture. And then of those students who do sign up, the ones that post reviews are much more likely to be critical. If you have a free course, it's super easy for that course to drop below 4.0. And this is relevant because in Udemy, if your course is below 4.0 average, it will not be displayed in search results. And I know this because my fatigue course has dropped below 4.0 before and gone up. It fluctuates, right? What I have learned is that with free courses, it is pretty easy to have them drop below 4.0. Like, that's almost a life part of a free course. People who sign up aren't super likely to sign up. That's going to screw your engagement, or they're not likely to engage. And also, they're way more likely to be super critical. And that really sucks because I have had signups of students who have taken one lecture, like a 5-minute video of like a multiple hour course. And then they've given like a 1 out of 5-star review, right? Like that only happened. Okay. That mostly happens with free courses. So this begs the question, well, why even have a free course? And honestly, if you're watching this as an instructor, I really think that you shouldn't really have free courses. There's only a few specific situations where having a free course is okay. Essentially, what a free course should be is a shield, a buffer, a layer of protection against the analytics of your paid course. Okay? Because as far as Udemy is concerned, if it takes a year for your course to show that it does have good engagement, they're going to push it. If it takes 3 years for it to show that it does have good engagement, they're going to push it. Whereas if it doesn't have good engagement, they're not going to push it. Okay? So when you have free courses, it really wrecks the chance of that course's engagement being high. And so you can, over time, convert these courses to paid courses, and then eventually the analytics will reflect that of the free course. Okay, so this is a strategy that some people use. However, what I understand to be the best is actually to have all of your courses in 2 forms. I only have one example of this, which is my YouTube course. I have a crash course that obtains like the essence of my teaching style, but it's super quick and it's free, and it ends in leading people into this course. And so this is something that Udemy endorses. So now let's get into a little bit about coupon codes and affiliate, your personal affiliate link on Udemy, that magical thing that gets you that 97% of your sale. Okay? That thing, you're not normally allowed to share it on Udemy. Kind of makes sense. I mean, if you're sharing it on their platform, you're getting their traffic and you're taking credit for it. However, there actually are some situations where they allow this, and one of those situations is in the very last video of one of your courses. So if we look at the curriculum of this 7-day YouTube style crash course, we can go to the bottom and see this bonus lecture, what's next. So as far as Udemy is concerned, as long as it's the last lecture in your course, and as long as its title is bonus lecture, then you can put your links directly to your other Udemy course. Okay, so anybody that starts out as organic Udemy traffic that you would get 50% of, and they actually go through your course and click on the link and then go to your other course, you have now converted them within Udemy policy to a 97% person. Okay, so this is essentially, if all the instructors were in a perfect world, this is what they would do. They would have a paid version of the course that has a lot more information, and they would have a free version of the course that directs people towards the paid version. The free version is good because as far as marketing goes, people are much more likely to work with you, and you'll have more successful ads if you are giving people something useful. So the free course can't just be a tease of the actual course. You can't just be like, oh, go buy my big course. That's not going to work. You have to give them something useful that inspires some kind of connection or some kind of appreciation or something that gets them interested. Okay? Make this stuff useful. And then it goes to the other course. This is the ideal state of Udemy courses, right? So you can also do webinars and other things, but that's something you're going to notice on here with Udemy. Like, this only happened, that $16,966 number only happened because I ran a YouTube channel about it. I did all that marketing without realizing that I was doing that marketing. If you do not understand marketing, you are highly, highly unlikely to be successful on Udemy. It is very hard to get your courses to the point where they are really growing because it takes so long to organically grow interest in your Udemy courses, to show to Udemy the social proof necessary to have them push your course. You can expect it to take 1 to 2 years to really have courses grow, right? Okay. So we've pretty much covered Udemy. And I want you to understand this experience. These were my first 4 courses. This was my first experience as a teacher. And before I moved to Nicaragua, all of these courses were created. And so I saw this happening and I was like, okay, I don't really know how to get the same success as the dropshipping course again, but I'm just going to keep making more courses and eventually I'm going to figure it out and we're just going to keep making more Udemy courses. However, on Udemy, it's kind of hard to know what to do next. Like, you've created a course, and they actually give you pretty good ways to identify interests for your next course, but $0. Like, this course, even though I think it's a better course than my dropshipping course, has earned me like $100-something in my life, or $156, right? This course has been out for months. Like 6 or 7 months. Whereas the dropshipping course has earned almost $17,000. Making these 3 courses has not motivated me to continue on Udemy. And I understand that if I wanted to be successful on Udemy, I would keep creating courses and figure out how to replicate that first thing that happened. But my experiences with Skillshare, after having these experiences with Udemy, have really convinced me that Skillshare is a better platform. So now we're going to get into Skillshare and some of the differences. So I'm pretty much done talking about Udemy at this point. The only other thing to talk about here is the fact that instructors are paid based on your course's individual sales. Okay, I have to sell a lot of this course every month to new students to continue earning money. I may have almost 10,000 students, but if I stopped gaining students, I would stop gaining money on Udemy. Okay, Udemy, in order to sell courses, you have to sell to new students. And also, as a student, in order to keep using courses, you have to purchase courses. You have to spend more money, or you have to use the free courses. Okay? So, as a student, you don't have access to all of the courses on Udemy unless you pay for them. All right? And that's important to understand. And it's also really important to understand this point, that your profit on Udemy is based on new course sales. You are not directly affected by how Udemy does as a company. Yeah, you may get more organic traffic, but really your ability to bring students to your course determines your success on Udemy. You are not directly connected to the progress of Udemy as a company. Okay, you're indirectly connected, meaning that as Udemy gets more traffic, you will get some of that traffic, sometimes a lot of that traffic, and benefit highly from it, right? But you aren't directly connected to that. You aren't directly being paid more when Udemy earns more. You are indirectly being paid more because Udemy has more students, so then more students are more likely to enroll in your course. That is indirect, okay? Very important distinction. And with that, we are now done with Udemy. So now we're going to focus completely on Skillshare. And let me share with you my experience with Skillshare, because I honestly feel in love with this platform. The way that it functions and what it means to me is absolutely amazing. One second, sorry. My roommates just made me food. Did I mention how amazing it is to be living where I am and to be so supported in my home environment? I was going to edit this out, but it proves the point I was talking about. I moved to this place to be able to become an instructor. This is super important to me, and that's why I'm paying so much attention to all of the differences between these platforms, because I want you guys to really understand why I feel in love with Skillshare, okay? And I am biased. I'm affiliated with Skillshare. I get money from people signing up for Skillshare accounts. However, I've earned way more money from Udemy. The Udemy money changed my life and allowed me to just do whatever I want and leave my problems behind and live with an amazing group of people in an area where I can afford to live, and I earn more money than people who get degrees here do just from a course that I made in the past. It's freaking surreal, okay? I want you to understand, I have a lot of reasons to like both of these platforms, but I really do believe that Skillshare is a better platform to teach on and as a student, okay? And now I need to get into that, because we just discussed that on Udemy, you have to pay for each individual course, okay? This highly, highly, highly demotivates taking new courses because you have to pay for all of them, right? Whereas on Skillshare, they're all free once you pay the monthly fee, and the monthly fee is $15, okay? So you pay $15 once. You have every single course on Skillshare for 30 days. You pay $15 again, you have every single course on Skillshare for 30 days again, okay? So I can take a new course every single day on Skillshare, and I'm not paying any more money. Whereas on Udemy, I would have to limit myself to free courses. If I wanted to learn about the quality that instructors put into their premium courses, I would have to buy them or leverage my YouTube account, which is something a lot of you can't do, okay? And that is super, super, super important, because when it comes to creating courses and to becoming the best teacher you can possibly be, you have to take other instructors' courses. You have to expose yourself to as many different courses on the platform that you teach on as possible, because that is how you learn how to be a very good instructor. You expose yourself you become. Okay, super important, because on Udemy you have to keep paying to expose yourself to the premium courses, whereas on Skillshare you do not. It costs the same amount of money to take one premium course as it does to take 30 premium courses in a month. Okay, and this is a huge difference between the two platforms. Super important to understand that. Now let's talk about my experience with Skillshare, because again, I moved to this country with Udemy in mind. I thought I was going to keep creating Udemy courses, but I actually ended up deciding to change platforms, despite the fact that the Udemy platform is where I earn most of my money, okay? And there's a main reason behind that I'm going to get into in a moment, and it has to do with the chance of success for all of us, not just for me, but also for other people, because I got a lot I gotta learn and I gotta improve on, and a lot of things that I do wrong, and I need a mechanism to show me these things and make me feel like I'm progressing and connect me with other people going through the same things so that I am more likely to accomplish what I want, okay? Udemy does not necessarily provide this mechanism. Udemy does not have as much of a community in its instructors, okay? So, that being said, I was all about Udemy, yada yada, and then I heard about Skillshare, and I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to just copy my Udemy course and put it on Skillshare. I should have things on different platforms, right? So I tried to do that, and then it didn't work, and my course got banned, and I got my first strike on Skillshare like day 2 of being on Skillshare, right? So I got in trouble straight away on this platform that I now absolutely love, and I think it's amazing. They sent me an email. I will show you the email. So I messaged them because I was like, oh, why isn't my course not available? And this is like straight away when I started on Skillshare, right? Just published my course. So I started out thinking that I would just copy my YouTube course, because YouTube was what I'm currently doing and what I'm super passionate about, what I believe in. I would just copy that and put it on Skillshare. However, throughout this process, I kind of started redoing a lot of the videos, and I used some of the old videos, but I redid about 60% of them, and I also made a worksheet and a project and did some other stuff, and then I tried to publish it. I got taken down. And then I got this message saying, "Hi Jack, a member of our moderation team emailed you about this on February 6th. I've copied our message here. I'm writing to let you know that the class you recently published to Skillshare does not adhere to our class guidelines. At Skillshare, classes are first and foremost educational. We support authentic, inspired learning. All classes on Skillshare are, first and foremost, educational. In order to ensure that the student experience on Skillshare remains focused on learning and applying new skills towards tangible goals, classes on Skillshare are required to meet our minimum educational guidelines. While reviewing your class, we found that it did not meet these guidelines for one of the following reasons. Classes should not be based upon a lesson plan or outline, or should be based upon a lesson plan or outline. Classes must contain a project for students to complete, and classes may not reference money in their title or description or focus too much on earnings. We have closed your class titled How to Become a Successful, or How to Become a YouTuber and Earn Money Doing What You Love to new students and unfeatured it from the site. Please note that we have a 3-strike policy for violations, so I encourage you to review the guidelines carefully before publishing any further content." I got this and I was freaking out. I was proud of myself, made a new course, or made half of a new course, published it. I'd gotten some momentum. I didn't really have much. I was moving forward, and then boom, they took my first course down, and they informed me that I have the first of 3 strikes, and once I get 3, I'm banned. I was like, fuck, damn. I was not happy. And I was confused. And I'm telling you this because my experience with Skillshare in the beginning wasn't pleasant, okay? And what essentially I've come to understand is that I have so much YouTube experience because I've made so many videos that making the course to me was really quick, even though I was producing new content. It didn't take that long, and I never actually read the terms of use. And like, that's a problem. When you're making a course on a platform, you need to look at the guidelines and recommendations, because directly in those guidelines, I learned that on Skillshare, there are banned topics and things that you can't do. One of those things is that you cannot talk about money in the title. You cannot use the word money in the title, okay? They also don't allow courses on dropshipping or passive income. You can kind of teach people how to earn passively, but you have to teach them the thing that results in them earning passively. You can't teach them passive income, if that makes sense. Skillshare doesn't like that, okay? So at first I was like, wait, what? 1, my course has a lesson plan. 2, it has a project. Okay, but this is a problem. I didn't realize that it said we found that it did not meet one of these guidelines for one of the following reasons. I took it as all three of the following reasons because I was emotional and I was hurt, right? So I responded to them, yada yada, and I eventually redid the course. And so if we go here, we can see that it looks like I have 3 courses. This was the first course that I made, and it looks like it's published, but in reality, it's not. It's been taken down. Okay, so this course is not viewable by people on the Skillshare platform. Only me and these 2 people who signed up for it can see this course. Okay, it was taken down. So then what I did is I redid the course and I applied what I learned. I changed the title. I further integrated a project into the course. I also added videos into the course showing what parts of the course are what and guiding the student through how to predict what they're about to learn, and etc, etc, etc. Okay, and here's the main thing I did differently. 1, didn't use money in the title. And number 2, before clicking publish, I emailed Skillshare, scroll to the bottom of the page, and see how it says, got a question or want feedback on your class? Email us. And so I clicked on this email, and I sent an email saying what my experience was, and that I wanted to make sure that when I publish this course, that I'm not breaking any guidelines. And I apologize, I did the first time. I was just learning, and I want to make sure that my courses correlate with what Skillshare wants. Okay? So I did that, and within 48 hours, a Skillshare person got back to me who had obviously watched my whole course, gave me feedback about it, pointed out 2 very simple, quick things to fix, and said that everything else was fine. And then I went to publish the course, and now it's been shared, it's been looked at by like other people, and it's okay. It didn't get taken down like the other one did. So I learned, and I learned a lot from making this first course about how Skillshare operates, because I had rushed into this, right? I went in with the perspective of, I have this course somewhere else, I'm just going to bring it onto Skillshare. That's not what Skillshare really wants. Skillshare wants you to be a person who uses their platform and teaches on their platform. They want Skillshare to be a part of your life, not just something that you just got from somewhere else, okay? And that you never log into again. And so I'm bringing this up to you because if you look up Skillshare, you are going to find a lot of negative stuff about people talking about it, if it's a scam or if it's like, look at this. Okay, on SiteJabber, Skillshare has a 2.2 out of 5. But I freaking love this platform, okay? I want you guys to understand this because I understand why this happens. People sign up for a free trial, but they don't realize that because you have to put in your credit card information to get the free trial, if you do not cancel the free trial, you will be charged. That's why they ask you for the credit card, okay? And this is relevant because Skillshare can start you off with a 30-day free trial or a 2-month free trial if you get the link through an instructor, okay? So if you want Skillshare, you can look in the description of this video, and there is a link for 60 days of free Skillshare, right? In order to actually get that, you have to provide payment info so that when those 60 days are over, Skillshare can start charging you that $15 per month, okay? But it's also important to understand that Skillshare also has a 12-month system where you can pay a yearly installment instead of a month-to-month installment. And this yearly installment only costs $8 a month, or like $96 total, versus the $15 a month that it costs monthly, okay? But it's one $96 payment. So what would happen is people would sign up for the free thing, provide their payment information, say that they're committing to pay $96 or almost $100 once their free trial ends, then they forget about it or don't do it or whatever. And then the free trial ends and they get charged And Skillshare is not going to refund them, or is very unlikely to refund them, because that's literally what Skillshare said that they were going to do, and they did it. Okay, so from Skillshare's perspective, some of these times I'd imagine they didn't communicate super effectively to the customer, so that's why the customer perceived that it was a free account. But you can see they took 96 euro out of my account and I haven't heard back since. That kind of thing. Okay? That's the most common gripe about Skillshare, is the fact that it starts with a free trial and then it ends. But honestly, guys, it's just one of those freaking internet gripes that is everywhere, because most humans are insecure and want to believe that everything's shit so that they don't have to fix their lives. And I say that as a person who used to feel that way. It's much easier to think that all the opportunities don't exist, because then you don't have to look at the fact that you are not living the life that you want, and it's your fault. Like, when I wasn't living the life that I wanted, it was my fault. I was not working hard enough. I was not being diligent enough. I was not doing the things necessary to change my life, okay? But it's much easier to blame other things for this, all right? So I want you guys to understand that. This is my perception of the negative hype about Skillshare. Okay? And there's some people who really, really believe in this. And then there's also, from the instructor perspective, there's people who have gotten banned pretty much straight away on Skillshare, or they've gotten in trouble just like I did. Okay? But that's how it is. Skillshare is a pickier platform. That's one of the things that makes them so appealing, is they actually understand how people learn and what people want. I think Skillshare is super amazing. I feel so happy to be working with Skillshare. And let me explain the biggest reason as an instructor that I perceive this, okay? So, again, I was on Udemy, moved to a different country to focus my life on online teaching, right? Started doing Skillshare. The way I started doing Skillshare was through this month of Skillshare, okay? So for 30 days, I take one YouTube video about Skillshare and I watch it, okay? And it literally can be about anything on YouTube as long as it has Skillshare in the title. That's how I learned about the negative hype. I watched negative videos as well as positive videos. Also, every day of this 30-day period, I take another person's Skillshare course, okay? So I identified 30 courses, and I've been doing one of these per day. And also, in addition to this, every week I publish one Skillshare course myself. I need to be an instructor. An instructor is a person who is creating courses regularly and has a system to accomplish this task. In my past, I just made courses when I felt like it, or when I was emotional. I didn't control those things. But now, the courses have a system, okay? And I believe that by exposing myself to all of this information about Skillshare on YouTube, and by exposing myself to how all these other people create courses, that will allow me to create better Skillshare courses, okay? So this was 16 days ago. You can see that I have done 15 of these and I have published 2 courses. These links here are for my VA, Axel. What happens is I review the information that I learned from these 2 videos, and then every day I record that information, me talking about it, into a video on YouTube, and then I share that with Axel to hold me accountable. Okay? This is how I guarantee that I'm going to do it every day, because I know that if I don't do it, Axel's going to know that I didn't do it because I didn't send him the review video about what I learned. Okay? So that's just a little side trick thing. And virtual assistants is amazing, but that's a whole nother topic. Virtual assistants is the most amazing thing you can do to yourself online. It makes everything you do online exponentially more. You become like multiple people. It's insane. Okay? But that's another subject. Don't worry about that right now. We're talking about Udemy and Skillshare. So now you understand my history on Udemy, you understand the position in my life I'm in, and you understand how I started exposing myself to Skillshare. Okay? This was the goal. So after the course was rejected, that happened around here, right? It was February 6th. The first day of this event was February 14th, or I don't know, something like that. It was a week or 2 later. Okay? So I redid the YouTube course again. showing, really keeping in mind what Skillshare wanted, and then I published it on this date, okay? And now I need to show you something about Skillshare. So, Skillshare has a little bit of a different format when you're watching courses. We can go to classes you're teaching, and we'll just look at one of my courses real quick. So this is what a typical Skillshare course, or all Skillshare courses look like. You have the video content in the top left. Above that, you have the title. To the right, you have all of the videos in the course. The main difference between Skillshare and Udemy and how they portray their courses, honestly, from here up is identical. Except Skillshare doesn't differentiate sections. Udemy differentiates sections. So the videos, like here, it would be like these first 3 are the intro. These first 3 are a section with a different name. Whereas on Skillshare, it just has each video after each other. So the instructor may talk about, okay, this is section 1, this is section 2, but Skillshare doesn't actually differentiate between the videos. It's just the name of the course, video 1, 2, 3, until however many videos there are. Whereas Udemy does have sections, okay? Then you have your project. Udemy has a Q&A that people can ask questions at. Okay, Skillshare has a community where you can ask questions, and it has a project. And Skillshare requires that your course has a project that the student produces as part of finishing your course. Okay, and this is important here because this is one of the most important things on Skillshare. If you can truly understand how to get people to participate and share and engage in their projects, that leads to growth on Skillshare, okay? And I don't have much growth at all. Like my first month, I'm gonna earn like $112, something like that. And that's mostly because I know people and I've referred people to Skillshare. So we'll get into that in a little bit because that's another reason that I think Skillshare is better. But before we get into that, let's talk about the experience of the course a little bit more, right? So we have these projects, okay? And the person can create a project. This part is important, okay? Because not only is this here, there's also these workshops. So when you first create a course on Skillshare, you can join the monthly teaching challenge, which is literally every single month. When you join this challenge, it is a community of people who are also trying to create a course. And there is a leader, a Skillshare employee, who will hold little competitions and milestones to encourage you to create your course, okay? All of these people, every single one of these people is another person who's also trying to create a course. And you can post responses to them. You can ask them questions. You can engage with these people. And that's amazing for multiple reasons, okay? Because these are your first students on Skillshare. You can start on Skillshare and not know how to market, but be active on Skillshare and talk and get to know other people and connect and give advice. And this will serve as your marketing. Most of the students that I have so far on my Skillshare course are other teachers on Skillshare. After making this course about becoming a YouTuber, I realized that. And so I made my second course about how to record videos, because that's something that I could see that people were struggling with in the discussions. That's something people were asking for. And these discussions allowed me to understand, okay, these other instructors can be my first students. These people can be the people that I connect with and get started on in Skillshare. These people can be the marketing. And that's why, at its core, why I think Skillshare is better than Udemy. Because you can log into Skillshare every day, create courses, talk to people, and foster growth of you as an instructor. You will meet new instructors, you will get new students by participating in other courses, participating in their discussions, and also participating in these workshops. You can literally do the marketing part on the Skillshare website. You don't need to figure that stuff out yourself. You just need to be active on Skillshare. And that's so different than the Udemy experience. The Udemy experience is something that can go very well if you have the whole picture in mind and you have marketing. And that also, obviously, if you really know what you're doing in your marketing, then Skillshare can go really well as well. And I'll get into why that is, because Skillshare is more effective at monetizing referrals than Udemy is. But first, let's reiterate this fact that when you're teaching on Skillshare, you can just be active. You can use Skillshare like Facebook, and it leads to you getting more students in your course. Okay, this is super important because the biggest problem with Udemy is this marketing problem. And Udemy has polled their instructors and determined that the number one thing that instructors are scared of and fearful of and feel like is lacking is marketing. Okay, it's a known problem on Udemy that Udemy is aware of. Skillshare addresses this problem by giving their instructors more ways to connect and interact with each other. Whereas Udemy currently only has their communities within each course. This means that your communities only grow as your course grows. Whereas on Skillshare, you can easily be part of a whole community of people that is also teaching a course. It is just so much more intuitive. And I feel like I can log into Skillshare every day and figure out something that I can improve or something that I can do that's going to lead to my course doing better. Whereas on Udemy, I don't know. I don't have that feeling. I don't have that certainty. And that is just how I feel, okay? And so now we're going to talk about how you get paid on Skillshare, because it is very different than how you get paid on Udemy. As you can imagine, from a student perspective, okay, $15 a month for all the courses, or $15 for one course. Skillshare has a lot more options for this reason. But for the instructor perspective, okay, well, how do we earn money, right? Because it is true, it's only $15 a month, but it's $15 every single month that the person is active, okay? This means that if Skillshare has 100,000 students, that means they have 100,000 times $15 coming in every month. It's renewing income. They have a fostering long-term relationship with people who believe that Skillshare is worth paying the fee, whereas Udemy only pays for new students. Udemy's success as a teacher is about you bringing in new traffic, not maintaining relationships with the people who already use Udemy as a platform. Okay? So the way that Skillshare pays out its instructors is twofold. Let's go back and look at our teacher stats, and we can explain this better. So the first way that students get paid that teachers get paid is through referrals. If we scroll down right here, actually, we can see that I have 11 premium referrals. That means that I have brought 11 people to the Skillshare platform. 11 people have signed up for a free trial because of my affiliate link, okay? That's the first way you get paid. You get paid $10 per person who signs up for the free trial, which is super awesome because they don't actually need to pay. They just need to provide their credit card info, and then they can immediately cancel it. You would still get paid for that referral. That's super, super awesome, okay? The second way that Skillshare pays its instructors is based on premium minutes watched. Okay, so Skillshare has income as a company. They take their income from all of their people who are subscribed to Skillshare, and then they minus their marketing costs, their cost of operation for the website, the cost of all their employees, these kind of things, and then they have a pool of what's left. Okay? This pool is divided by the total number of minutes watched on Skillshare. Okay? So every single minutes watched is converted into a dollar amount based on how much Skillshare as a company brought in that period. All right? So I have 205 minutes watched. That means that I have received a pool equal to 205 minutes compared to the total amount of minutes watched on Skillshare, and I receive that as a fraction. All right? So if there are 1,000 watched minutes on Skillshare and I had 200, I would receive 20%. Okay? It's important to understand this because you, as an instructor, are directly linked to Skillshare's growth in 2 ways. Not just one way, in 2 ways. One, if Skillshare has more students, you get paid more per minute. In a world where you have the same amount of minutes watched, but Skillshare is growing and earning more money, you earn more, okay? When Skillshare is doing better as a company, earning more money, you are also earning more money. It's a percentage, right? Obviously, there's a bunch more competition, you earn less. But your money is still directly affected by how much Skillshare is earning. And then 2, you are paid directly for every person you bring to Skillshare. Udemy does not do this. Skillshare will give you $10 straight away. If it wasn't for this, my first month on Skillshare, I would get like $3. But because of this, I got like $100-something. And I actually haven't gotten that yet because I started so recently. But 11 referrals is $110 plus 100-something minutes watched is going to be another like, it's like 5 cents a minute. Between 5 cents and 10 cents per minute. So not very much. Not much at all. But something, right? So now you guys really understand a lot of the main differences between Skillshare and Udemy. I've explained to you some of my history and what I'm doing with my life, what my past was on Udemy, and why I perceive Skillshare as such an amazing, amazing opportunity for myself. As a person who wants to become a full-time instructor, I can honestly tell you that I think this is more likely with Skillshare. Skillshare allows me to identify subjects. Udemy also does this. They're pretty good at telling you, okay, these are what else your students are interested in. However, on Skillshare, I can talk to a whole community of other people who are also trying to create courses. I can talk to them, encourage them, and be encouraged myself. I can find some of them and interview them. I can connect with them. Skillshare will also pay me for anybody that I bring to Skillshare, and they pay me directly based on the amount of content people are consuming in my course on a regular basis. This is super awesome. I feel like I can log into Skillshare and I can participate in discussions and I can ask people questions and I can make connections, and I'm making my courses better by doing this. Whereas on Udemy, I go onto the Udemy page, I don't know what to do. I really don't. And that's partially my fault, obviously, but I think that Skillshare is a better platform as an instructor. I think that it fosters instructor growth more, and it incentivizes instructors in a way that is more relevant to Skillshare's growth as a company. Okay? All right, guys. My name is Jack Pitman. If you want to check out Skillshare, sign up for a link in the description. You could also check out any of the courses I have on Udemy. If you want to talk to me, you can look in the description again. You can set up a call. I will talk to you about anything that you want. We can have a one-on-one conversation as long as you let me record it and publish it to my YouTube channel. That means it's free. We can talk about anything you want. We could talk about course creation or drop shipping or happiness or death or Nicaragua or traveling or whatever. Anything that you want to talk about. If you let me record it, it's free. Okay? And you can schedule that video using the Calendly link in the description. If you want a private session, then it costs money, okay? And it's $20 for 30 minutes. And I charge for these because if we're just talking to you, we're not recording the video, then you are the only person benefiting, okay? You are paying to make it you be the only person that benefits. Whereas when we record a video, anybody in the whole world can learn from it, which is way more incentivizing for me. I'm happy to do that for free, okay? So if you're interested in reaching out, getting to know us, that kind of thing, check that description out. Sign up for Skillshare. reach out, contact me through Calendly, set up a video. I also host a mastermind group that meets every Friday. There is no requirement to be in the mastermind group, aside from that you show up and you don't get super bothered by the fact that I'm recording the sessions and publishing them to my YouTube channel. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao.